There we go. That's more like it. Mets lose 3-2 to the Chicago Cubs as again the Mets just it's been the story of all season, right? They are consistently inconsistent. The Mets absolutely explode for offense last game, and what do they do to follow it up? Not perform whatsoever. The top of the lineup, all of them got hits, sure, but no multiple hit games again from some of the guys at the top of the lineup. No hits from the bottom of the lineup, which I mean, what am I supposed to expect when Abraham Almonte's in the lineup for whatever reason hitting sixth for this team when Daniel Vogelback is still actively on this team hitting fifth? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but let's talk about this game. Carlos Carrasco went up against Jamison Tyon for the pitching matchup. So let's get into it. First inning, Mike Tauchman gets walked because, well, first of all, this game started 5 minutes later than it was supposed to because the pitch comm just wasn't working. And some of this game was played with using traditional signs. So that was interesting to see. But Mike Tauchman walks, and then Horner, Happ, and Bellinger all ground out as Carlos Carrasco gets out of the first inning there alive. Wait, did I read that right? He didn't allow a run in the first inning? You mean the free bet didn't hit? Well. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry for anyone that placed that one today, but it missed for the first time in probably his entire Mets career. So, yeah, that's interesting. But bottom of the first, Brandon Nimmo pops out. Jeff McNeil gets a single. Lindor pops out. And then Pete Alonso hits a home run, his 34th of the year as he hits that one dead center. At first, they ruled it a double because they thought it didn't hit the wall there. But, I mean, everyone knew. And then Pete Alonso starts rounding the bases. Umpires telling him to go back. I don't know why Buddy thinks he's the main character, but he tells Alonso to go back to second. And then Pete kind of gives it to him after they ruled a home run. He's like, could I go now? And then he ends up going. That makes it 2-0. So the Mets up early. Daniel Vogelback strikes out. We go to the top of the second where Carlos Carrasco got a 1-2-3 inning. Can you believe that's possible in the year 2023? Because I personally cannot believe that's possible. Bottom of the second, Almonte strikes out. Vientos grounds out. Narvaez with a double. Ortega flies out. We go to the top of the third. Gomes strikes out. Madrigal grounds out. Tauchman with a single. And then Horner strikes out. Bottom of the third, the Mets go down order. And then, the cookie, not a big crumble, but a tiny little crumble off the cookie in this one as Happ strikes out. But then Cody Bellinger hits a home run to make it a 2-1 ball game. Swanson pops out. Candelario grounds out. We go to the bottom of the fourth where Mets go down in order. And then the top of the fifth, the Cubs would tie the game up because we expected it. Christopher Morel walks, and then Yan Gomes hits a double. Yes, the Mets are letting Yan Gomes get RBI still. It feels like that guy has notoriously killed the Mets. I actually do want to check his numbers against the Mets because I feel like back when he was on the Nationals, he was just absolutely torching the Mets, but I could just be over analyzing that. And I mean, I'm not over analyzing that. He's gone. He's hit 263 against the Mets with 35 hits, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs in 40 games versus the Mets. So, his numbers have been very good against the Mets. So I'm not going crazy, but I digress. He makes it a 2-2 ball game. And then Madrigal ends up hitting out into a fielder's choice. Carlos Carrasco ends up picking off Madrigal at first base also, and then Tauchman strikes out. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and the Mets go down in order. Top of the sixth, Phil Bickford pitches a clean inning. Can you believe he had a 1-2-3 inning? Can you believe that he did not allow a run? Because I certainly can't. Phil Bickford, guy that I didn't think was ever going to have a 1-2-3 inning with the Mets did. Bottom of the sixth, the Mets go down in order yet again. Okay. Top of the seventh, Trevor Gott comes in to pitch. Surely that will go well. It actually did. Swanson grounds out. Candelario with a double. Morel strikes out. Gomes flies out. We go to the bottom of the seventh. And what do the Mets do offensively? Go down 1-2-3. All right, well, Drew Smith comes into the game. Madrigal flies out. And then Mike Tauchman hits an opposite field home run to make it 3-2 because Drew Smith is not a good pitcher. So that makes it 3-2. But you know what? He's good for the tank, I guess. Horner then with a single. Happ strikes out. And then Josh Walker comes into the game. Horner ends up getting a stolen base. Bellinger strikes out. And what do the Mets do in the eighth? They don't go down in order. Merriweather comes to the pitch for Taillon. So that is the final line. They let Jameson Taillon in 2023 pitch 7 innings, but that's fine, right? Vientos gets a leadoff single. Narvaez flies out. And then Alvarez comes up the pitch hit. He lines out. Nimmo with a single, and then McNeil grounds out. So at least they found a new way to not score in the inning, as they at least got some production offensively. I guess that counts for something, right? But yeah, Ottavino comes in the ninth. Swanson strikes out. Candelario gets a single. Morel strikes out. Gomes with a single. Like I said, just torches the Mets, and the Madrigal lines out. We go to the ninth, where Azole comes in the pitch for the Cubs. And I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Azule? I don't know. Francisco, and all I know is Lindor gets a single. Alonso lines out, and then Vogelback hits into a double play because the Mets, again, do not like to score runs, a lot of runs, I should say, in back-to-back games, because I feel like that's a thing that has not happened throughout the entirety of the season, which I will double check real quick, because why not? So why not look at if there's been a stretch of baseball where the Mets have scored like a good amount of runs in back-to-back games? Because like I said, I don't know if that exactly exists. Unless if you want to count the White Sox where they scored 11 and then 5 runs, I mean, sure, maybe. But outside of that, it's looking pretty thin. I mean, they had a lot of runs in the Diamondback series. That wasn't back-to-back games, but I digress. I'm not going to completely go through the entire schedule. All I know is that unless you want to count that White Sox game, then yeah, they have not scored a lot of runs in back-to-back games pretty much all season long. So yeah, isn't that wonderful? But Carlos Carrasco, not bad actually, all things considered, with what Carlos Carrasco is at this point. We expect him to be the tank commander, but 5 innings of work, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So not a bad day. Allowed a home run. He's the losing, or no, he's not the losing pitcher. Drew Smith is. Taillon's the winning pitcher. Bickford, good inning for Bickford. And then Gott wasn't bad either. He allowed a hit, but still wasn't bad. Drew Smith is not good. Josh Walker was solid, and Ottavino had a weird inning, but he gets 2 strikeouts. The pitching was very solid for the most part, so you can't even fault the pitching. They only allowed 2 walks. They had 11 strikeouts collectively as a unit. You point the finger at the offense, who only had 6 hits, who was 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, was rarely able to get runners in scoring position, as they left 3 guys on total. We wish it was 7, but Nimmo, McNeil, Lindor, Alonso, all going 1 for 4. Alonso, of course, with the home run, getting 2 RBIs. Again, this offense just is not consistent. And then for whatever reason, Vogelback and Almonte are hitting 5th and 6th in this lineup instead of putting Mark Vientos higher in the lineup. I, for the life of me, cannot understand it, but it is what it is, I guess, right? Vientos, though, like I mentioned, goes 1 for 3. Narvaez 1 for 3. Ortega 0 for 2. I mean, these are the names in this offense. What do you expect to happen here? But I'm very interested here if the Brett Beatty happened to play for Syracuse Mets tonight. Kind of interested to see how he performed if he played for them tonight. Assuming he did, but yeah, I'm not gonna look. I'll look off video, but yeah, Mets lose. On to the next one, though, as they play the Cubs yet again tomorrow. Is that an afternoon game, or is this a 4-game set that we're dealing with here? What is the deal with this game tomorrow? Could I look? Just want to load. Looks like a night game. Okay, so it's a night game tomorrow again, and then they have an off day. That's odd. Okay, Peterson versus Hendricks. And yeah, I'll be back at it again tomorrow. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one.